Akala nyo ba ang kapangyarihan ay nasa inyo? Sino ba kayo?
Good day everyone. First, I'll introduce my name. I am Reynald Davis Barangan from BSA Gen 1. So today, I'll stand here before you not only a concerned citizen, but as a part of a generation that dreams of a better Philippines, a nation where honestly, equality, and fairness are not expectation but the rule. However, when we look around us, we see issues that continue to challenge our progress, which is the Ghost Flood Control Project, substandard infrastructure, and higher taxes benefiting Filipino workers and consumers. These are not isolated problems, they are symptoms of bigger issues. Corruption, inefficiency, and lack of accountability. As we face the challenges, it is our duty to speak out, understanding the root, and push for meaningful change. First, let's talk about the issue of Ghost Flood Control Projects. Every rainy season, countless Filipino families lost their homes, livelihoods, and even lives because of flooding. Yet, when the government releases millions and even billions of pesos for flood control, many of these projects exist only on a paper. No canals are built, no dredging is done, and no drainage system are repaired. But the funds, taxes money are already done. Another child unable to go to school, another family is displaced. We must hold accountable every official involved in ghost projects, from the highest decision makers to the lowest field engineers. We need a stronger transparency system, where every infrastructure project is digitally monitored and open to public viewing. If ordinarily citizens can track their online deliveries in real time, why we can track where billions of pesos in public funds are going? Then, the government should create a public infrastructure transparency portal where citizens can see the exact location, contractor budget, and progress of every flood control project. The Commission and Audit COA should also impose lifetime bans for contractors proven to have participated in ghost projects. So now, let's talk the second issue, which is the substandard infrastructure, the classroom that collapsed during earthquakes, roads that crack after a few months, bridges that become dead traps instead of lifelines. These problems are not caused by faith, but by poor materials, crushed lifelines, and corrupt practices. Some contractors use cheap components and substandard steel to cut costs. Yet, they still collect full payment first. Some projects are approved even before they are impacted. Covered. The result: billions waste and countless lives put in danger. Then, infrastructure should be about nation building, not profit taking. Quality must always come before politics. When a bridge collapses, it is not only concrete that fails. It is the people's trust in government. This is recommendation. First, strict inspection and testing must be mandatory before project acceptance. And the second, government should publish independent engineering audit report to ensure quality. And the third, contractors with failed projects should be faced criminal liability and be blacklisted permanently. Fourth, invest in training and monitoring system for local engineering project managers to ensure standards. So now, our infrastructure should reflect our pride as Philippines, strong, dependable, and well-defined. address the rising taxes that continue to burden ordinary Filipinos. Every day, workers give a large portion of their hard-earned income to taxes. While prices of goods continue to increase, food, fuel, transportation, and even basic necessities. Yet, in return, many don't feel the benefits of these taxes. Our healthcare, education, and transportation systems remain underfunded. And then, it is certain the poor pay more, and the rich and powerful find loopholes to pay less. Taxation should be fair, transparent, and beneficial to all. People should not be punished for working hard. Taxes must go where they are needed towards public welfare, not in pockets of corrupt officials. And this is the recommendation. First, the government should prioritize reducing necessary spending and cut corruption instead of constantly raising taxes. And the second, implement progressive taxation where the rich earn proportionally more than the poor. And the third, strengthen the BIR digital system to ensure efficient collection and reduce human interference, which often leads to bribery. The fourth, use taxes transparently for education, healthcare, and livelihood programs so that people can see the result of their commitments. Then, the citizens see that their taxes are truly used for public good, and therefore willingly comply. But if the corruption continues, then the foundation of a strong democracy will crumble. But in spite of all issues, I still believe the Filipino spirit, our resilience, our compassion, our desire for genuine change. The silver lining lies in our collective courage. We now live in an age where information is power. We can speak up, question, and demand transparency. The youth today are more aware, more courageous, and more willing to able action than ever before. We cannot erase corruption overnight. Not can we fix every broken road or prevent every plan immediately, but we can begin by choosing honestly over silence, accountability over apathy, and unity over division. And now, it's a dream of the Philippines where public service begins, where infrastructure is safe and lasting, where taxes truly serve, and where every Filipino can live with dignity and trust. As Dr. Rizal said, there are no science where there are no diseases. It means that our silence feeds corruption, but our voice, our vote, our vigilance can stop. Together, let us pray about corruption. Together, let us build a Philippines that we, a future generation, can truly be proud of. Thank you, and may we always fight for a nation built on dignity, fairness, and hope.